Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a deep dive on one of South Asia's absolute most iconic and symbolic structures. We're talking about the Minar-e-Pakistan in Lahore. It's not just a part of the city's skyline, right? It's literally the anchor of an entire nation's identity. We're going to see exactly how history, ideology, and just sheer willpower all smash together into this one architectural masterpiece.
Okay, let's dive into this. How do you capture a nation's birth in stone? Think about that monumental challenge for a second. How do you take a concept as massive as a country's beginning, grab the invisible spirit of millions of people, and transform it into a towering physical reality you can actually walk up and touch? Well, that was the exact task facing the creators here.
Part 1. The Spark of Independence. Let's anchor this story right where it started, back in 1940. So, our timeline begins on March 23, 1940. The All-Indian Muslim League is holding a historic session right there in Lahore, and they passed the famous Lahore Resolution. This was absolutely huge. It called for separate states for Muslims, making it the crucial first step toward the creation of Pakistan in 1947. And because that event was so monumental, they chose that exact site for the national monument. But, things take time. It took 20 whole years before the foundation stone was finally laid in 1960. Then another 8 years of painstaking construction until it was completed in 1968. So we're looking at a 28-year journey from a revolutionary spark of an idea to a finished, standing landmark.
Part 2. Building the Dream. Now let's look at the actual logistics of getting this thing built, designed by the brilliant architect and engineer Nasruddin Murad Khan. Transforming that historically charged plot of land into a towering monument? Yeah, that wasn't cheap. The project cost a staggering 7 million Pakistani rupees. To put that into perspective, back in the 1960s, building something on this massive scale required an insane amount of resources. That is a huge undertaking for a relatively young country. So, how on earth did they pay for it?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that those 7 million rupees were raised through special taxes placed on cinema and horse racing tickets. No way, right? The everyday people of the nation literally funded their most iconic national monument through their weekend entertainment. I just love that detail. It so beautifully ties this grand sweeping structure right back to the everyday public.
Part 3. Architecture built on metaphor. We'll see how this 70-meter-tall structure masterfully blends Islamic, Mughal, and modern styles, complete with a flower-shaped base and a crescented star.
Let's move to and see how this builds from the ground up. Literally. The base of the tower is actually shaped like a massive blossoming flower, symbolizing the blossoming of Pakistan itself, and it incorporates the crescent and star. But the true brilliance here? It's engineered right into the layers. At the very bottom, step 1 is made of these rough, unhewn stones. That represents the gritty, difficult beginnings of the freedom movement. As you ascend through steps 2 and 3, the stonework gets increasingly refined. Finally, you reach the top at step 4, and boom, you're met with polished white marble. It's a physical climb that perfectly mirrors the metaphoric journey from a really rough struggle to the gleaming success of independence.
Part 4. An open-air museum. Let's metaphorically ascend to those polished marble sections where the monument literally speaks to you. When you walk up to those marble sections, the monument transforms into a text you can actually read. You'll find these incredible inscriptions. There's the Lahore Resolution itself, carved not just in Urdu, but in English and Bengali too. Alongside that, there are verses from the Holy Quran, the 99 Names of Allah, some incredibly powerful excerpts from speeches by Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and inspiring poetry by Allama Muhammad Iqbal. As you can see, this brilliantly illustrates how the structure acts as an open-air museum, perfectly preserving a totally diverse linguistic and ideological heritage in one single place. Part 5. The monument today. Let's zoom out and look at how it dominates the Lahore skyline today from within Greater Iqbal Park. So we are more than a half a century out from its completion, and it is anything but a forgotten relic. It's surrounded by these beautiful gardens, right alongside huge historic sites like the Badshahi Mosque and Lahore Fort. It is a living, breathing venue. It attracts tourists, students, and historians from all over the world, and it serves as this beating central hub for national events, especially when massive crowds gather every single year to celebrate Pakistan Day. So here's the core takeaway. Minar-e-Pakistan is not merely a tower of concrete and marble. It is absolutely a monument to determination, vision, and national unity. From every rough stone at the bottom to every polished marble piece at the top, it tells the story of a people who dreamed of freedom and worked tirelessly to achieve it. It's a permanent reminder of what can be built when a unified vision is pushed forward against all odds.
Which brings us to a final, thought-provoking question. Are monuments built just to remember the past, or to actively inspire the future? This tower specifically commemorates 1940, sure, but it points skyward, constantly inspiring the generations who continue to gather beneath it today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions, keep looking at the structures around you with a critical eye, and I'll catch you next time.